Okay guys, well here I am at the scrapyard. This is actually about as close as we're gonna get. I just talked to the guys up front because I wanted to make sure they were okay being on camera, and they said they have a no filming policy on site, so I got to be respectful of that to a point. All right, guys and gals, friends and pals, welcome to another magnet mission. This one's a little different today. It's no magnet fishing going on, but we are going to load this trailer behind me with all this other stuff that's in front of me, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So, the only finds that aren't from magnet fishing are this dryer stand and this defunct dryer right here. Everything else, and a lot of it's going to stay. That ain't going nowhere. That's really cool. It's like either a saw blade or a gigantic gear from a lumber mill. And then I got to pick and choose as I go along. This 400 pounds of steel cable. There's several loops. If you guys have followed my channel, then you've seen me find that many times. Big old pile of bikes right here, guys. There's some metal over there. There's my really cool old stuff that I haven't taken care of at all. It just comes to my yard and rusts, but it's fond memories for me. You might recognize that wheel there from this episode. There's a wooden spoked wheel, what's left of it, from this episode. This big wire wheel, that's actually off of a Model T or a Model A, also from the same episode. And this never appeared in an episode, guys. This was a hand truck. If you look, it's all wood and cast iron. And I know some of you are heartbroken, just going, I can't believe he just let that dilapidate in his yard. So found that, and actually it fell and broke on rocks. It was actually, the back axle was in great condition. It was in really nice condition when I very first found it. It's even got the little platform things that you set on it. Here's the other one here that went over here somewhere. You can see somebody painted it orange. My friend Kyle actually found that. No idea how long that was underwater, but super fun. Then we've got the sketchier stuff over here. This isn't going anywhere either. This is a half of a late model motorcycle frame. I'm going to put together an episode of the Harley Graveyard. I've talked about it forever and never showed it to you guys. And then down here, more scrapnel and shrapnel and crapnel, all sorts of stuff. There's a shovel. List goes on and on. So and the challenging part, which I'm not going to make you watch me sort through each of these buckets, but I'm going to pour each of these buckets out because I know there's stuff in at least one or two that I want to hold on to. I have my very interesting finds that aren't going anywhere. Like, for instance, here's part of a very old logging tool called a cant. Here's a giant boat cleat I found in this episode. And here's a giant anchor shackle is what it's called. Now look how these graduate in size, and then I'll give you my foot in there for perspective. There's a horseshoe that's not going anywhere. There's a hammer hatchet head that's not going anywhere. Here's a vintage iron that's not going anywhere. But look, so this little guy here, when you compare that to my shoe, look, sits right on top of my foot, no problem. And then they get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Let's set this one on top of my shoe, or should I set my shoe in it? How's that for massive? Anyhow, multi-circle gang. Shout out to Monterey Magnet Man. What's up, Daniel? Yeah, so anyways, piles and piles of stuff. Gonna get it all sorted out. That's not going anywhere. Here's my piles of chain. For some reason, I love chain. When I find chain, I keep it. Here's a chain, I forget, this is called a chain cinch or a chain binder. This one actually still works, so I'm going to clean that up. I got a bunch of stuff to clean up. I won't even show you that. And then these are finds of interest that I plan on doing something with. This is a very old car jack. I still haven't determined the age, but I'm going to clean that up. And that was in this episode you see here. Old tools that I'm going to clean up. Or so I say. Here's a mushroom anchor I found in this episode. I'm not sure if I have an episode for this guy or not, but look at this old roller skate. So I plan on cleaning that up at some point. So the best way to keep these in good shape in the meantime is leave them out in the weather. Leave them in the open air where they get sun, rain, sleet, and snow. They're kind of like postmen of magnet fishing. Doesn't matter, nothing wears them out. That's completely bad information. I have done a horrible job of keeping these. This is an old chalk line, I believe. So I want to clean this up, see if I can get a name off of it. Looks like there might be, yeah, Stanley. This is an old Stanley chalk line. Look at that right there. Anyhow, and then my sketchier stuff, I've got, look, here's a mini safe I found in this episode, along with that safe door. And here's a change machine I found in this episode. So I'll try to put links in the description for all of the episodes that I've shown you thumbnails here for, if you want to watch those when you get a chance. Anyhow, without further ado, I got my work cut out for me. I'm sure this is going to take me a few hours, and we're gonna load up this here horse trailer. And here's what's funny, I actually have a couple of my Brute Boss 360s that I smacked into walls and other stuff. So as you can see, they've seen better days. But here's what's funny, they make an excellent door holder. So those Brute Boss 360s are going to hold this this pardon me. Those Brute Boss 360s are going to hold the door open while we get this trailer full of all that stuff. And I won't show you the whole thing. I may give you periodic pictures, but yeah, here we go. About 3 hours of this, that'll be fun, right? Now the thing is, I've got to try and make a floor with all the heavier random stuff so it's evenly distributed, especially over the axles. And then get some of the bulkier yet lighter stuff like that dryer on top of it. So no easy task, but we're going to pull it off. So probably what you'll see next is my floor. I'm envisioning I'm going to make a walkway down the middle so I can move bigger stuff and have the smaller, heavier stuff off to the sides and down the middle. But leaving enough to pile the majority of it over the axles. That's what you want to do. You don't want to break the axles, but you don't want to be off center with your weight. You want to have a good center of gravity. See, there's some stuff you find and you go, wait, that's not going anywhere. Look at that. That's a beautiful nail. I'm going to try to clean that up and straighten it out a little bit. Pretty sure that's what's left of a bumper off of a Volkswagen Beetle. Found that out at Cathedral Park. So how odd is this? A lamp with a sandal, a flip-flop tied to the electrical cord. What the heck is that all about? I'm looking at this up close. Look, it's got that rubber gasket on there. This almost looks like maybe it was a floor brake. some kind of gear mechanism, very old, right? What's left of a folding chair. Yeah, this guy's a goodie here. Guessing about 80 pounds. Big old chunk of rebar right there. That's almost worth keeping. Just take a look at this spot over here for a minute. I'm going to show you a couple things here. You tell me if you recognize any of it. Hold on, we're coming down to right there. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Most of it's junk. But for example, if anybody recognizes this, that would be cool to know. It's a component to something. And this was found in the same area. This is actually two separate pieces that are stuck together. I know what it kind of looks like, except it's not that. Think Alice in Wonderland. But yeah, here's the bottom or top. There's a part where something else screws in. You see threaded there. So if anybody recognizes that, drop something in the comment below, like an explanation of what it is. Yeah, just some strange wheel thing there. I thought this was going to be more exciting than it is. Old mailbox parts, old mailbox parts. This, look at that. This thing is smushed, but this is the top to, if you recognize this, this would actually screws on. It's like a safety cover for those giant oxygen tanks or acetylene or whatever. It screws on and it blocks the valve in case the thing gets in case the thing gets falled over. It doesn't get knocked off and turn the whole thing into a projectile. This is just a cool hunk of something. So it looked like a big bolt went through there and it was some type of I don't know, scraper or holder. Pretty cool. Yeah, that's it. Nothing really else great here. So I think next we are going to work on this pile over here. So all that stuff is what's going to go in here next, which, as you can see, it kind of got my little walkway going. So I'm almost done stacking stuff in the very back. I'm going to put that dryer there and then start coming forward to make a real big pile right in the middle here, because we still got to get all those bikes in there. Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, if you magnet fish, you know there's no shortage of steel cable, is there? Now, I'll tell you, I wish some of this was in better shape. This here is, I think this is 31 feet, and it's got the end portion still on it. So imagine what this hunk of steel cable cost brand new. I'll bet you it's several $100s, if not more. See, oh, okay, I'll show you this here. So this is interesting because here, this steel cable is wrapped around this big old, I think this is called, is it a log boot? I can't remember, but if you look at the other end, it's kind of fused to itself. Well, check this out. Here's another one right here that actually still functions. I doubt anybody in their right mind would use it. But the thing I just showed you, it's stuck to that steel cable. And you know what? Actually, I think I am going to keep it. I'm going to get my grinder through this and salvage this part. Here's more steel cable. Oh, here's a fun fact, as Orion would say. There's nothing quite as charming as when a 9-year-old suddenly blurts out in his little voice, "Fun fact!" And then he gives you something compelling. He's pretty smart. Fun fact is steel cable. I've also seen it technically, the technical name, wire rope, believe it or not. So you decide. I will love you either way. Whoop, look at that. There's another pretty rivet or nail or whatever the heck. You know that's old. So put that in the save file. All right, I think I'm down to the final piece. This one here, guys, is actually, I think, 41 or 42 feet. And I found it on the 4th of July with the most enthusiastic crowd of kids. And you can see the thumbnail's right here. And I will, I'll put the link in the description as well. But I think this qualifies as the longest magnet fishing find I've ever had. And it's heavy. And I'm going to try not to get dirty. You know what I think I'm going to do rather than hurt my back is I'm actually going to get my grinder out and cut through it. All right. Work smarter, not harder. That's why I used a wood grinding wheel instead of a steel grinding wheel. I actually have one somewhere, but I don't know where it is. And that one's on its way out anyhow, so what the heck. All right, guys, still raining like the dickens, but here's another walk down memory lane. This big old transaxle I found in this episode right here. I think it was the 15-minute or the 15 throw challenge, something like, I don't know. Anyhow, yeah, I forgot about this. I'm just going to keep this because it's really interesting. This is, gosh, this thing's got to weigh about 35, 40 pounds. Just a big, solid tube of metal. I'm going to clean it up and just have it as a keepsake. Now I'm to the area in my find pile where it's been sitting so long I got grass growing through it, guys. I'll show you what I'm talking about. All this right here, there's stuff under there. So, won't you join me once again? Oh, check this out. This is pretty cool. It's a cylinder head off of Yeah, off of a motorcycle or lawnmower or equipment. I don't know if anybody recognizes this from what's left of it. Be cool to know. Got a railroad plate there. I'm keeping that. I think I got a few of those. Yep, there's another one. So this is kind of cool. I don't know if this is like an unused rivet or what, but I'm keeping that guy. Cool to know if anybody knows what this is from. Just a big old piece of plate steel. Got 3 holes drilled in it and a handle. Oh gosh, shopping cart remnants. Good, good, good. We're coming along, guys. So, now I'm going to move over to the other pile instead of dragging it all the way over here. And then hopefully get the bikes on top and then we call it. Alright. Looks pretty good. Okay, we've already searched through this pile, so there's not much to see. We're going to get this. We're going to pull back over to get the bikes in, to get the last of the sketchy finds, and then the buckets, which will probably have to go into the back of my wife's car themselves on a tarp or something so we don't mess it up. She won't like that. That's mortal danger and severe emotional damage. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. Oh, let me show you this, guys. One of my all-time sickest finds. Look at this. So I'm guessing it's some kind of a logging tool. It looks like it's bent, but this will appear in an upcoming magnet mission, but it's top secret at this point, so or maybe not. You might have already seen it. I don't know. It depends when I do this one. Anyhow, you haven't seen this one yet, but you will, and it's awesome when it happens. You know, I may just see what I can do with these bikes from here. I think how stoked a kid must have been to get this bike for Christmas when it was new. It's pretty cool looking. Here we go, check this out. Final task is going through those buckets and see if there's any other little keeper finds. And we'll shut her down. All right, guys, well, there we go. All that was once over here is now here, including the sketchy finds. And before anybody freaks out, all of these, that's a dollar bill changer, a safe, a mini safe, and a safe door. All of those were shown to the police, and I was told that it was perfectly fine to do with whatever I wanted. So that's what I'm doing. I'm taking it to the scrapyard. So it's all legit. Okay, guys, well, here I am at the scrapyard. This is actually about as close as we're gonna get. I just talked to the guys up front because I wanted to make sure they were okay being on camera, and they said they have a no filming policy on site, so I got to be respectful of that to a point. So I hopefully at least can show you the pile of scrap that I'm leaving here, and then after the fact I can show you how much I got for it. So anyhow, this won't be as exciting as I wanted it to, but it'll be cool nonetheless. Okay, guys. Empty trailer, big pile right there. Holy smokes, who'd have thought all of that came out of our waterways? Anyhow, let's go see how much we're gonna get for it. All right, guys, we're gonna go to the payment booth and get some smacks. Guys and gals, friends and pals, that's it for the scrap run. Had a little over a ton. Got 151 smacks for my efforts. For having fun pulling stuff out of the river. Can't believe it. So it's great that that's not in the water anymore. Thanks to my magnets. Brute Magnetics, awesome company. KRATOS Magnets, awesome company. There's links and discount codes in the description below. Please like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. And we'll catch you on the next magnet mission. Thanks so much.